This is the gospel according to the IRS, Breaking Points and Church Financial Updates. And now, here's the authority, Dr. Michael Chitwood and Breaking Points.
This is Michael Chitwood. Welcome to Breaking Points today. And as we begin the program today, I'd like to say we're glad that you're with us. For those of you that are interested in our bookstore online, you may go to cmtc.org for anything that we can assist you with in getting your house in order. I want you to grab your pad and pen. I'd like to get right into this today because we've been talking about charitable contributions, what you can deduct. We gave you 6 things yesterday that you could deduct, and that's important for you to know because if your members can deduct it, that means that you must include it on the church's books income. So this is not just for the members of the church, it's also for the church itself. I'd recommend you post those. That way you won't have any misunderstanding. It will be a clear understanding, and I think that we need clear facts about this. We don't need things that's just going to be halfway done in the church. I also told you that a clear understanding of this would allow you to grow your church to a level that you would not imagine. I do believe that God cannot and will not bless a mess. And if your house is a mess, you need to refer to Luke 18, I believe it is. It says that He can trust you with small things, then He will know He can trust you with great and mighty things. I believe that with all of my heart. So I believe today, as we talk about this, my first part is who can deduct charitable contributions to your church or to your nonprofit organization. Who can deduct? Number one, any individuals that give contributions to your church or your nonprofit may deduct charitable contributions. We call them donations. Number two, did you know that partnerships out there in the world that file 1065 forms may deduct charitable contributions? So it's important for you to do this. If you have a sponsor program or a corporate group sponsor program, you do understand that they can deduct charitable contributions. And the third component of who can deduct is corporations. Corporations can give contributions to your church also. Now here's my point, my teaching. A lot of you have individuals that give contributions off what they make at their job, off of their employment, where they work. They should be given 10% tithe, as you know, and then they should be given an offering. See, the Bible's very clear in Malachi. It says, bring all of the tithe and offerings into the storehouse. I also believe that you need to be supporting your own church and not televangelists and ministries across the nation before you support your own church. Now, it's your decision if you want to support them afterwards, but right now I believe it's important for us to support and sponsor our pastor. Let's back our pastor with the vision that God's placed into his heart. You know, it's hard to find pastors these days that have a real strong, aggressive position and viewpoint that they really want to do something for God. And when you find those people, it's important that you support them. It's important that you stand behind them. It's important that we make sure that we help them fulfill their vision. Remember Ephesians 6:8, whatsoever good thing you do for another man, God will do the same thing for you. And I believe that with all of my heart. And I don't know about you, but I want to do everything I can because my father always taught me this: you can't outgive God. And I believe that with all of my heart. You just can't give too much. And I love blessing the man of God. My father's always said before, what could be better than taking care of a man of God who is always taking care of so many others? So the last component of this thing on charitable contributions is when can you take a contribution? I've discussed what, I've discussed who, and now I'd like to talk about when. So it's what, who, and when. When can you take a charitable contribution? The law is very clear about this. There's not anything here that's misunderstanding to anybody. When can you take a charitable contribution? The law says it's in the year that you make that charitable contribution is the year that you can deduct it. You can't make one at the beginning of a new year and try to take it off for the prior year. That's against the law. Now, we had one bookkeeper, one check writer. Of course, you know what we think. We think that most bookkeepers think they're bookkeepers. They wish they were bookkeepers. They hope they were bookkeepers, but they're not. They're nothing but check writers. Now, they're good check writers, and we appreciate our check writers. And by the way, if you haven't had them and required them to take that Check Writers University course yet, I would require them to take that if they were going to do my books. My father always said this: don't ever let anybody handle your money who has less money than you do. But I can tell you this for a fact, that once they get into that, and once they find out how to do things, you're going to have a much better financial organization in your church. Now, the one lady, what she did is she had people that would bring contributions well up into week of January. And she just told us, well, date your check for the prior year. You cannot do that. What made you think you could do that? The law is one way. The law is for the rich churches, for the poor churches. It's for all kinds of churches, even the living churches and the dead churches. And we do have a few dead churches, unfortunately. I want your church to be alive. You know why? Because I've learned this. When you've got everything going on the side of the spiritual part, you've got everything going on the side of the financial part, every T's crossed, every I's dotted, you know what? God will take you to the next level. There's no reason why you can't grow your ministry. The only thing that's holding you back is one thing: you. Successful preachers and ministers do what unsuccessful preachers and ministers won't do. I believe that you want to be successful. I believe that you're a big thinker. And what you need to do, the more knowledge, the more power that you get into your hands, the more information that you give to your members, guess what's going to happen? The stronger your church is going to grow. The stronger and the better your members are going to be. And I believe this with all of my heart. Your members cannot go any higher than their leader. When the leader stops growing, guess what? The members start growing. Until next time, this is Michael Chitwood, and I'll see you tomorrow on Breaking Points. God bless you.
Breaking Points gives you the latest IRS updates and tax law. Pastor, if the IRS came to your church today, what would you say? If you really want your house of worship in order, call 1-800-345-9117.